There we are. Just waiting to make sure it goes to the right place. There it is. Yes. Just waiting on people to show up. That's about right.
Phone
That is
phone
about right.
notification.
It's yeah. I had to turn mine down. I have Rimuru yelling at me on mine, and then the dub voice of All Might, Chris Sabat. I grabbed a clip from the dub of My Hero Academia. I basically grabbed All Might's ringtone and just amplified it because I've been messing with sound for years, and so
Right.
that my ringtone is literally a phone call is here. All Might saying that, and yeah, all right. We got one person showing up already, so yay, we have people. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Anime and Stuff, the show where we talk about surprise, surprise, anime and stuff. And this is actually our first interview. We're joined by Curtis from Spaz Boys Comedy, and I need to go ahead and put those images up because I grabbed images over the last hour. Let's see, so I could properly talk about stuff. Uh
Oh,
yeah, I know, right? It's like, oh
already
my,
being grabbed.
right. Yay. All right, so right now what you guys are seeing is his actual YouTube page. You should go check that out, Spaz Boys Comedy. Curtis, could you just do a kind of a quick explanation about what all you do? I could just sit here and say YouTuber, reactor, gamer kind of stuff, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on adult websites. Um, I found that nobody else particularly enjoys what I have to offer, but I find it fascinating. Oh, were you talking about more of the online stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got it. We have a YouTube channel. I just kind of stumbled into it one day, and actually, we started YouTube because how much. And just so you guys are aware, any of you who are familiar with the channel Spaz Kids, sitting right next to me,
Oh,
uh,
hey.
yeah, he's playing League of Legends, but taking time out every so often to make obscene gestures and things of that nature. This is what I this is what I live with. Um,
That's beautiful.
but not basically. Long story short, several years ago, the gang at the YouTube channel got me interested in anime, and it was something that I never really thought about before. I seen the titties, I would have, but I'd never really realized that there were that level of boobage in anime.
Hmm.
And they got me interested in Dragon Ball Z Abridged,
Right.
and from there it just exploded. It's easily my favorite form of entertainment anywhere ever, and
Okay,
it's not even close.
so they got you into anime before they got you into abridging.
No, abridging. Actually, I didn't even understand what the whole concept of abridging was, but what the gang was saying was Dragon Ball. Everybody knows who Goku is. That was about the limit of my
Right.
anime knowledge. And they said, if you watch this abridged, it's funny on its own. You don't need to have background. You don't need to know the story. And they
Right.
kept trying to encourage me to do it. And I ended up loving it. And then, of course, the curiosity became what was the actual anime like. And I mean, in the abridged, as soon as Krillin started getting owned, I was hooked. That was some hilarious stuff.
As soon as the owned counter started going. Okay.
Right, right. And then
To
I
tell
still
Scott.
remember seeing Roshi's nose bleed and thinking, what the hell? This guy's got like blood pressure so high he's gonna die. I didn't understand that was a an anime trope that meant
You had an
that there were
erection. Yeah,
titties
exactly.
aboard. Yeah. And I just remember seeing him spew blood out his nose and thinking, oh great, here's a main character with serious issues.
And from that got you into a lot of different anime, and I've got to
Oh
say
yeah.
you have watched and reacted to a lot of my favorites, and
Mm.
I watch a bunch of different reaction channels, but yours is the only one that I've like really like actually gone to and become a patron for, and it's mostly because you have such a large enthusiasm for all the different stuff that you're watching. Like
Yes.
you're like a kid in a candy shop with all this different anime, and it's a lot of it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I think, and that's what's really surprised me more than anything else is the variety that
Mm-hmm.
anime comes in as far as genres. I mean, I figured all anime was Planet Busters. You know, everybody had a
Mm.
Goku and a Vegeta, and you just screwed around and you killed each other, and you tried to outdo one another with power levels and things like that. And then, but since this is all taking place, you know, I've seen things like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Hunter x
Right.
Hunter, and even outside of that genre, things such as Kids on the Slope, and I
Yeah.
mean, it's just amazing to me what anime brings, and their storytelling is fearless, it's funny, and it's superior to what we generally get here in the West.
Mm. There's definitely a wide variety of topics. The way I've explained it to my parents before was that if you can think of a genre of film, that same genre exists in anime. There's horror anime, there's
Hmm.
psychological anime, like there it runs the gamut, and it's because it's like such a big deal over there. They have like manga for housewives, like specifically geared for housewives over there, and that so but
Well, yeah, even things like Death Note. I have
mhm.
never. That is one of my all-time, if not my all-time favorite thing I've seen in that type of psychological drama genre. And just the concept itself is brilliant,
Mhm.
and then to have the execution be even better just blew me away. And
S
I'm team L all the way. Just putting that out there because Light's Light's a psycho.
yeah, he is. All right. So guys, really quickly, I am going to be going and reading off some of your questions to Curtis if you have any for him. Some of the stuff that he's watching right now. You're well into One Piece. Oh boy, oh boy, you're pretty far into One Piece right now, and you're getting towards the parts that are gonna be like just mwah. Like if you think everything's been really good so far, take some calming medication. It's about to get crazy.
That's that's what everybody's telling me. I'm coming towards the conclusion of the Thriller bark arc,
hmm
and the thing about One Piece is,
Like you've
I
just
mean,
met Nightmare Luffy.
yes, Nightmare Luffy is one of my favorite transformations, I guess, for lack of a better term, I've seen in any of anime. I was just really impressed by that. I liked the way it was put together. I liked the way it looked. And see, the thing is, even if it weren't the case, One Piece could take off a whole arc where, and I would never imagine this would happen, but where the storylines may not be as engrossing. But as long as Nico, Robin, and Nami are there, who really gives a shit?
Yeah, right.
Because yeah, I mean,
Plot,
but the
plot. That's
storytelling,
what drives anime. Plot.
absolutely. And again, you know, eh, we make jokes about it, but the fact is, even with things like fan service, when anime wants to do it, they do it really, really well.
Oh yeah, they do. Yoshimi, no, I'm not actually aware if Curtis has seen our abridged stuff. By the way, yeah, the channel that we're on is the
Hmm.
abridged channel that I work on as well. So
Right.
yeah,
And I've
like
gotten to
he's
look at it.
aware of us.
Right, right, but I haven't gotten to see anything in detail yet, though, and
Right,
that's mainly just because of the limited amount of hours I have each day.
right. You've got so much stuff that you're reacting to. If you want to get him to watch some of our stuff, become one of the Gusher 100, I believe is that the correct term?
Yeah,
Gusher
that's what
100.
we
Yeah.
typically call, well, that whole Gusher 100 thing. That when I started that level, it was just I didn't even think people would think to go this way with it. It was so you could ask for any video you wanted.
Right.
I was thinking more along the lines they'd be thinking some of the old sketch comedy stuff or things like
Right.
that. But then Frog got us started watching Nichijou with it. He said, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to sponsor one of these episodes every month," and that just kind of took off.
And then
And it's been a lot of I've gotten to see a lot of really good stuff because those G100s.
you're almost done with the first season of Castlevania, I think.
Well, actually, Castlevania was weird because the first season was only like 4 episodes.
That's right. The first one was
Yeah,
only four, and then so you're on season two.
season
Season
two.
season
Yep.
three just dropped, and that's 10 episodes. And I've got people yelling at me to finish it because I'm only halfway through.
Oh,
Oh
it's
yeah,
good.
no,
That's
it's so good.
if it weren't for Helsing, and I've been a fan of, and I've said this in the videos, I've been a fan of vampire stories my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But if it weren't for Helsing, that would be my favorite vampire related story I've ever seen. That's it's fantastic. It's that good. But again, that's a mountain to climb for anything to overcome Sarah's Victoria when you're
Yeah,
talking
that's true.
about favorites for me.
That's
So,
that's very true.
oh,
You have. Some people do have their favorites, but it's usually a toss up as whether they prefer uh, Helsing Ultimate or Helsing Ultimate Abridged because both of the, and I'm like you can like both, but it's okay that one is your favorite. You know.
absolutely. The bridge was brilliant.
Oh
The
yeah.
bridge was fantastic. Well, the
Uh,
thing that gets me with Sarah, so unlike a lot of the others on my waifu list, she's also one of my all-time favorite characters. Besides, I just love her
right. She's
character.
got such an interesting story. She really
She
does.
does,
And that's another
and
thing about anime. Like, if you're just there for boobies, that does in fact exist. Like,
yep.
but a lot of the time with anime, you're gonna actually get rich character development from, from these women. You know.
Well endowed women. Yes.
Yeah, did I
Yeah.
hear Jack Luxton? Did I hear big titted police girl?
Listen, that stops everything in life.
Mhm.
I don't give a shit what it is. I could have coronavirus. She'll cure that shit. It doesn't. It don't matter. Everything else stops when Sarah's Victoria enters the situation. Yeah, enters.
Sorry about that. My headphones came undone for a second.
Now that happens to me sometimes when I'm not wearing headphones. Even
Right? Yeah, that's just the power of
things
Sarah's
just come
Victoria.
unglued.
That's
Absolutely. She hangs right here on my wall. I was looking at her right now.
right. There you go. All right. Did I hear developed character? Oh, she's developed. All right.
Yeah, she is. That is one finely developed police officer.
Now, really quickly, your anime reactions, primarily with the exception of like some Dragon Ball Super clips, are primarily over on your Patreon, the Goosh. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because uh, we have a similar. Our channel and your channel have something in common, which is YouTube copyright,
Yep.
because fair use is kind of a toss up on this platform. Uh, so whether you're doing reactions or parodies, both are considered kind of a gray area, and we kind of had our own fights, and we've kind of had our own kind of our own having to like you moved your anime reactions to Patreon,
Hmm.
and we had to move a couple of our abridged series over to Vlare instead of YouTube because
Hmm.
they're parody friendly.
Well,
But
see what has happened, and a lot of people don't understand.
mm,
And I've had to learn a lot of this myself just through necessity. But fair use law is left. It used to frustrate me that it is so vague, but
mhm,
then as these things unfolded, it became obvious to me that it is vague intentionally,
right,
and it's fortunate for people like us actually that it is vague intentionally
right,
because this allows for, as things change, as our forms of entertainment change, it allows for individual conclusions to be made by the courts as to what is or is not fair use. Now, actually, with YouTube, every single time I had a copyright claim, I was able to defeat it. I give my my stance, my counterclaim, give all the details as to why what I'm doing falls within fair use, and every single time the complainant has backed off. What happened was then YouTube decided, and I have no idea why, to institute a block system.
mm-hmm,
Now, in the block system, they just block your video. If you file a counterclaim, they don't look into anything within the counterclaim. They just give the information to the original complainant. And if that person comes back and says, no, I still don't want the video out there, they just go, okay, it was a way for YouTube to wash their hands of having to deal with copyright. And that's when everything had to move to the Patreon, to
yeah,
the Goosh.
yeah,
The initial plan was the Goosh was going to have its own content, its own anime reaction content,
right.
but there was always going to be a series here at the YouTube channel as well, but that squashed that.
Because
And then as you've seen,
I remember watching you react to the entirety of Naruto and Shippuden, like,
yep,
well, minus a giant block of filler, thank God, or you'd still be
yes,
at it. But yeah, I remember watching all of that on YouTube, I mean, that was a
And
main reason why, like, I noticed your channel before and I kind of paid attention, but it was when you were like, I'm watching all of Naruto, and I'm like, well, subscribed, my sir.
well, that's actually when we got towards the end of Naruto. That's when it all started.
Oh, yeah.
That's when the block system came into effect,
Yeah.
and that's when it all started falling apart. That's why the last episodes are the only ones that are up over at the Patreon at the Goosh, because that's where I had to upload them to even get anybody able to see them. But now what's happened, and again, these things evolve. What Toei has done, and it's stunning that they weren't smart enough to do this before. Now I brought the Dragon Ball Super reactions over, edited them down heavily.
Yeah.
Toei's well aware of them, and what they do is every few days they come in, they're well aware of the channel, and they put third-party claims on them. So
Which,
basically, they get all the monetization from them. I'm fine with that. All I
yeah.
want to be able to do is share these reactions with people.
And that's similar to kind of how things were with our channel for a while. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we abridged Log Horizon. We abridged That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. We have a shittier version of Sword Art Online that we do. I say that, but we've kind of admitted that we're like, yeah, we're not something witty, and we're not trying to be, but also, you know, we've got a bunch of other content on here, and as soon as we did a One Piece, like we were just doing the Alabasta arc with Crocodile and everything, like we
Yep.
were just doing that because none of the other One Piece series had even gotten that far, and we were just gonna do 4 episodes with it. Man, as soon as One Piece went up, well, suddenly we started getting attention and videos started getting blocked. Like, we were used to them getting claimed. I mean, the people that made them worked hard on them. They deserve that money, and
Right.
we say support the official release, you know, or as it is on this channel. Don't be a Dave. But but essentially, we we were cool with that, and then it would get blocked, and then we got a third party group like Screenwave, is what we ended up getting, and they're the same group that works with Something Witty and a bunch of other abridged groups. And they basically fight on behalf of the abridgers to try and make sure that their content stayed up. And then recently, at the end of last year, we ended up with 3 strikes, and our channel got terminated right before Christmas, when we had like this big, like 27-minute long Christmas special video we were putting
Oh,
out. And so we ended up having to put it up on Flare, and then our channel came back about midway through January, almost towards the end of January, but we still had 2 strikes, so we were letting those strikes go away. And then we put just about like 2 or 3 days ago, we put up the Christmas special on this channel, and everybody's like, it's not April, what is this Christmas special? I'm like, bro, we put up several update videos, I'm sorry. But yeah, we ended up doing that, and it was ridiculous. But you know, we've had issues with the the blocked system too. But the thing that was different was when initially they would get blocked worldwide, and during the time that we countered that claim, it was viewable for a public audience because that claim had been countered. But then they
right.
started changing it, and they changed it to blocked everywhere but Japan, and when we countered it, no one else could view it. And that
Right.
was the big difference that time, and we were working really hard for that. Apparently Toei does not like it if you turn Luffy into an actual cannibal. I think that's the problem.
Well, that's what a lot of people don't understand too, because I'll have people say to me, "Well, at least over at Patreon, you don't have to deal with copyright anymore." It's like, no, that's not true at all.
No, you still
All it
kind of
means
do,
is,
yeah.
oh, you absolutely do. It's just that at Patreon,
Mm-hmm.
Toei, whoever the Japanese company may be, has to do things the way the system was intended.
Right.
They would have to send me. It's easy enough to find me. I make it easy. They would have to send me a cease and desist.
Yeah.
I can either determine whether I want to cease and desist or tell them to go pound salt. What I'm doing is within fair use, and
Mm-hmm.
we have it out in court.
Yeah.
That's how the system is designed. And actually, YouTube initially had something that facilitated that system, but then they came up with the whole auto block thing and blew everything
Right.
out of the water.
Yeah. And that's again, credit to you for this, because you're the one that kind of, knowingly or not, you put the idea in my head. My mom, I went to go visit a friend of mine for Valentine's, and my mom's birthday happens to be Valentine's Day, so Makes it super
Oh,
easy
cool.
to remember. I'll never forget my mom's birthday. And because she's a Valentine's baby, she collects hearts. She's a little bit older than you, but
Okay.
but I got the idea in my head. I was like, you know what? I wonder. There are 4 different series. I'm gonna put a vote out on my Twitter and have people vote on what they think my mom should react to, and then I got them. I went down. I hung out with them for the weekend, and then my mom and I drove back to where I live, which is like an hour and a half southeast of Nashville, Tennessee. So
Okay.
a good 10-hour drive, and then we hang out, and then she's chilling. She's hanging out with me for about a week before she goes and sees my aunt and hangs out with them, and goes and sees my brother and visits the rest of the family that's here. But we did reactions, kind of. Kind of similar to how most reaction channels, I guess, would do, but because I'm doing them with my mom, I sat and watched them with her, and we would have a conversation. We'd pause it partway through and have like kind of a conversation about some stuff. And it was
Right.
really, I mean, it was fun to get those reactions done and everything, and have her reaction, and that was all well and good. But what was really interesting was like this connection that I was able to have with my mom that I didn't have before. Like we had this new connection and this new thing. Like we'd always had some geeky stuff. Like my family, we're all Star Wars fans. Like I know
Hmm.
that your family, you're big on Disney. I've seen several of the
Oh,
videos
Disney
where you get
fanatics, yes.
yes, which is all right. My heart goes out to all the employees of Disney right now because this is a
Yeah.
rough time period. Uh,
Well, at least Disney's been really cool about it. At least
yeah,
they're all still getting paid.
yeah, that is good. I mean, the mouse makes money. He can afford it.
Yeah. Yes, he can. I'll tell you though, Disney, like any other corporation, has their faults, but
Yes.
when it comes to their employees, I with being a fanatic, I know a lot of them, have interacted with a lot of them, and not many of them have anything bad to say about Disney. I got to give them credit on that.
I'm assuming you're talking about the park specifically.
The parks, yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry, yeah,
Okay.
the
No, that's
parks,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. Richie, this one. Oh God, you want me to tell? Okay, I will tell him this story because he will find it hilarious. Thank you for bringing that up, Yoshimi. Okay, so my birthday was in January. I'm a January baby, and
Hmm.
my ironically my brother was born 7 years and 4 days after me. So like 4 days later, his birthday happens.
Right.
My mom doesn't really know much about anime, so she went on to Amazon looking for something for me. Never mind the fact that I have like 5 public wish lists that she could have viewed that would have been cheaper than the thing that she got me. She ended up getting an Ahagao shirt for me, which is basically it's a shirt that has female orgasm faces in anime all over it. So
Nice.
yeah. So the
Yeah.
most awkward conversation was explaining to my mom, who I think is like 68, 67, 68, somewhere around there.
Right.
Math. I don't want to. But essentially explaining to her what ahagao means, what hentai is, and telling her not to send me any more shirts with cummy faces on them.
Well,
So,
what would have been even worse yet, suppose it's an easy jump. Suppose while she was searching, she said, when I was looking at this anime, I saw a lot about this lollies, and I thought you might enjoy or something like that. Could have been even worse.
that would have been hilarious. That would have been a 1 hour conversation with my mom. So me being the person that I am, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna regift this. So I went up to see my brother 4 days later, and I regifted him that, and he started wearing it, and I was like, yes, yes, there we go.
Oh, you gotta
Keep it
wear
in the
it. Yeah, you get
family.
a gift like that. You gotta wear that. Yeah, yeah. And see, the problem with me is I have no tact, and at my age, I've long since lost
Right.
any self respect or anything. If I'm wearing that shirt and people ask me what it is, I'm gonna say it's a bunch of big titted anime chicks having an orgasm. Not gonna sugarcoat it for them. If you don't want the answer, don't ask the question.
Ah, man. So a couple of things that people may not recognize immediately if they come to your channel, because you've been doing this and you've had like this rather passionate group around for years now. There are some things that people need to know about the channel. Number one, there's a train. There's a train really close to you.
Oh, yep. The
the
train's a bigger star on the channel than I am by far.
uh, back in the day when your anime reactions were on YouTube, I haven't noticed the train as much anymore. But I definitely remember watching a lot of the YouTube reactions, and it was like, oh boy, there's the train again. And it was always the train would come by, and it would have either the best or the worst timing depending on whose opinion.
Perspective, right?
Yeah,
Right.
perspective. It was almost always during a really like good, like impactful moment. It was like, oh,
Always.
we're supposed to cry now, or I'm supposed to feel something. How about a train?
Always.
Right.
And the thing that's been strange, I mentioned it to the gang in a stream not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived in this house since 1995. The trains have always been insane. It would be nothing to get five, six, seven of them to go by in an hour. Over the past maybe 4 or 5 months,
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that they've dipped. Now, I don't know if just all of a sudden not as many people are using railways for their needs or what the
Mm-hmm.
case may be, or maybe we've insulted the train enough that it's
It got
maybe it's got
bashful.
well, I'm thinking maybe it's in therapy or something,
Oh,
and
I mean,
I don't know, but for some reason, for
trains
the
have
first time in
feelings
all
too.
these years, absolutely, and for the first time in all these years, they really have slowed. So it's not just it's not just you guys' perception. It really is the case. I mean,
Okay.
we still get them regularly today. Well, during the live stream today, I think I noticed the train. It was a little under an hour, and we had a train go by 3 times. But again, in the old days, it was nothing to do five, six, even seven.
Right. Oh, so I did want to cover not just anime. You also do gaming and live streams, as you just mentioned.
Hmm.
You do daily live streams, which is kind of awesome. Uh,
Pretty close to daily, yeah.
and you are doing some gaming content as well. I just finished a stream right before this, so I had a really good cry at a very sad ending to an epic game. Um, but you've been playing recently the Resident Evil 2 remake,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
that's
demo
it's a
for
fun
Resident
game.
Evil 3 drops this Thursday. So Capcom's making good on that. Everybody stuck at home might as well play video games mantra.
Absolutely right. No, yeah, that's been fun. Well, the channel actually, because the actual URL of the channel is youtube.com/Curtis
Spazable.
the Spaz Gamer,
Right,
and that was because when we started, it was back in the days when Call of Duty content ruled
right,
YouTube,
right.
and Brax and I were watching. He was only 11 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I suck at that game. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at shooters. And so everybody that was on YouTube was brilliant. So we thought it'd be funny for me to go on and play. And I had one stretch where I played 5 games, 5 team deathmatch games, and got 1 kill amongst those 5 games. And that's how the channel started.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was sad. And the one guy I got, I just was shooting. A bunch of dust had been kicked up. I shot into it, and fortunately, he was there, and I killed him.
That was like me back in the day with Halo. Like I got introduced to Halo when I was in the army, and that was a lot of what we did to just kind of pass the time was just play Halo. And then I got
Right.
to college with Halo 2, and I was like, oh man, I suck a lot more than I thought I did. And I ended up putting, I'd end up doing like this particular game type in multiplayer where nobody had shields and you could get killed so easily in order to constantly improve my reflexes. And it was just like hard work and effort of being a nerd. Needless to say, I got kicked out of college because I spent way too much time playing video games, but I got really good at it. uh, but no, I can definitely relate to failing at some video games. I'm not amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but eventually my brain can convince my fingers to press the right buttons.
Yeah,
Uh,
that might
what do
that
you
that
what do you play on? Are you playing on a specific system? Are you doing
well,
PC,
actually, I've
PS4?
moved more towards PC now. I have when I play console, it's PS4 now,
Mm-hmm.
but I've moved a lot of the gaming to PC. It's more convenient for streaming,
Yeah, it
and
is. It
I
really is.
upgraded to a gaming
computer.
PC that'll
Yeah.
actually run it. So I've been playing mostly on that now.
All right. Well, then everybody needs to tell you about some of the beautiful mods that are available for Resident Evil 2 Remake.
That's what a lot of the gang was telling me.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
some seriously good Nakey mods for Resident Evil 2, like Thick Claire. Uh, like there's some there's some amazing mods. Like oh boy, and they're very realistic. But of course, you couldn't stream them. I did
right,
do because it was voted on. I did do one where because Discord now has it where you can get a group of people together and you can like even in your own server you can live stream
right.
on Discord. And so what I did was Discord only, no recordings of anything, but just on Discord I had a group of people together and they were all chilling out and watching as I played one of those 18 up mods for Resident Evil 2. And so yeah, it was kind of and I let them kind of vote and pick which mods we were gonna have. There's some mods that just make it hilarious where you know you can. It's called there's a sorority zombie thing where you basically change every zombie in the game into a female.
Nice.
So there's just undead titties all over the place. There's I mean, there's
Well,
some really cool things in there too. You can actually remove some things, or you can make the game harder. I had one where I was playing as Leon, who was running around naked, but I changed Mr. X into a really big blonde laden woman, and so I'm just joking around the entire time that Mrs. X is chasing me because she wants that booty. So
yeah.
and you can
Well,
change the song that Mr. X has. You can like I had one where he was showing up as Darth Vader, but instead of it hearing like the Vader theme song, it was playing like Katamari Damacy the whole time. So you just do. It's really silly, but I love the modding community. Modding communities are beautiful on PC.
yeah, the gang has been telling me about the mods. That's the only reason I've stayed away from them because of the streaming. But
Right.
the
Well, so
I
it
mean, if
depends on which ones you use, because there are
right,
some that you can, like I said, the Mrs. X thing. I mean, she's got, and there are just like kinky outfits for different characters that they can wear. That's not full nudity that you can easily stream. Like,
right.
they're not anti mods. It's just those specific 18 and up ones. You know.
Well, one thing I've learned recently in One Piece is, and having been introduced to Sindri, is that undead titties can be quite enticing. Sindri's my girl. She's on my waifu list. I don't give a shit how many stitches she's got in those boobies.
The fact that she hates plates is not even a problem for you. Is even better.
No,
Yeah,
not even.
yeah.
And the thing,
It's like fuck a plate. We made bowls before we made plates anyway.
and the thing is, after a lifetime of getting hit with metal folding chairs, she wants to crack a little chinette over my head. I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, we should probably cover that for people who aren't familiar. You are a pro wrestler, a former pro wrestler, retired, correct?
Yeah,
Yep,
for a
yep.
long time.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
And
one of the.
guys, go to his channel and check out his live streams. He does story time about that as well. Like, there's videos up. You guys should really check that out. It's pretty interesting stuff.
It was fun. It's something I miss all the time. I mean, grew up loving wrestling, and despite the brain damage or whatever else I have from it, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right? Uh, Chat, by the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them because I am monitoring the chat and I do want you guys to feel like you can participate in there. Should we mention PDW? Actually, yes. Yes, I probably should. Okay, so every Thursday on our gaming channel, we have Fat Dog Gaming as a separate channel. Every Thursday we have this thing called PDW, so Fat Dog Wrestling. And essentially they're using the WWE video game. Carson's hosting it, and we get 3 different guys that are basically announcing it. And instead of using the WWE characters, we create our own characters. So they're either characters from one of the shows, they're characters that represent some of us, or they are fans, because he said if you're a $10 or over patron, you can basically have your own character made and put in the game. So a lot of our chat is actually in these matches, and so I think it's 7 o'clock. It's like I think it's about like 8 o'clock your time usually. That we have the show going on Thursdays on that channel. And so we have, yeah, Salty Rick has his own character, and he looks like a Viking that just washed ashore, and is just
Nice.
it's long hair, long beard. It's ridiculous. I have two characters because of course I do, but I only made one of them. They put Menu in as one, but essentially in our flagship series Log Horizon Abridged, we put a menu in because we just had this joke that the reason they're stuck in a video game is it's all EA's fault, and we were like, "Oh, well, who can do the catchphrase of EA Sports? You're in the game." And I was like, "Well, I could do that." And I was like, "Oh, what if we just made this kind of like an homage to HAL 9000?" And so, good morning, Dave. And he just started calling everybody Dave, and now Dave is synonymous for stupid. And so on our channel, if someone's being an ass, you just don't be a Dave, Dave. Just stupid shit like that. And now we have our Patreon promo is literally Zap Brannigan talking shit to me, and so it's just the silly stuff that we've come to love so much. But yeah,
And that's
we actually have like a set of Dave. We have a character named Dave in that wrestling match, in that wrestling series, and he almost constantly loses. And for some reason, because Carson and I should never, ever, ever be in a call together unsupervised, we ended up with 3 Kermits. Yeah. Because all we have to do is just talk like this. Yay!
and that's
Oh, Calvin's
that
here.
is a voice
Yay.
that's always funny.
Yay.
Doesn't matter.
Hi, Calvin. Calvin is our audio engineer, and he actually he lives in your state, though he's in a different area. He lives in Brooklyn, and on top of doing the audio engineering, he actually contributed very nicely to a very specific joke that we had in our very first episode. I was like, okay, so we have this guy who's basically a reverse weeaboo. He's a Japanese dude that wants to be American, but all he knows is memes and like old 90s stuff. So
Right.
I was like, okay, man, where's the most likely place to get stabbed in New York City? And he was like, South Bronx. And so South Bronx.
Yeah.
He goes, so there's a moment where he goes, I will fucking stab you. And he goes, oh, hold on now. This is Akihabara, not South Bronx. You better calm that shit down. so yeah, Calvin is from Brooklyn. And so, yeah, he does IT from home. So thankfully he's not heavily affected by this.
Oh, good. Gets
Yeah.
to stay in. Yeah.
Fell, who is one of the other members of the crew that would have been on tonight, he works. He basically works in the artist alley for anime conventions, and he sells
Oh, cool.
art. But unfortunately, he got hit. The majority of his money is going to conventions and stuff. So he
Sure.
got hit pretty hard for that. And now he's trying to look for another job.
Well, that's
Yeah.
I guess at least we're getting and I feel bad for people in any of those industries. Even on the stream the other day, something I had never thought of. Em was saying how she provides services as a pet sitter. And
Yeah.
you don't think about that except that everybody's canceled their vacation. So,
Right.
60% of her income is gone
Think
because
about the
people aren't going anywhere and they don't need pet sitter.
I didn't think
There's-
about this either. The people that run Airbnbs, they're really hurting now.
Right?
Yeah.
And well, I mean, there's supposedly there's a package coming that's going to benefit them, but even sooner. Now, Mnuchin has just been advised by the president to get something put in place to send out pretty much every American stimulus check to start trying to get people through.
Yeah, the $1,000 thing. I saw that. The funny thing was I saw that, and then everybody was like, I jumped on Twitter to try and check on something, and then I saw trending Andrew Yang was right. And I'm like,
Was
wait,
right.
what? I'm like, wait, what? Let me click on this and check this out. And then I got the sad news that the Black Widow movie got postponed, and I was like, yeah, I saw that coming, but it still hurts.
Yep.
I'm a Marvel fan. I love that stuff. Like, well,
Yeah,
I'm a
I
general
enjoy
comic
Marvel.
fan. But going back to One Piece real quick. What's really been cool about this is watching not just your reactions to it, but just being able to give you knowledge about stuff that you didn't have before. You're like I think I've said this before, but on one of the live streams, but the One Piece series, the manga series or the comic series, is actually now the third most sold comic series of all time. Like,
Behind Batman and Superman. I
yeah,
saw,
oh
I
yeah,
read an article, and they're going to pass Batman very soon if current trends continue.
yeah, and think about like how long Batman and Superman have been
Oh,
around, and
they had a huge head start.
One Piece is now. Oh my God, One Piece can drink. One Piece is 21 years old this year. It started in '99. Holy crap!
That's amazing, and that tells you a lot because when I collected comics and I collected comics heavily,
Hmm.
it was in the late '60s and early '70s, and Batman and Superman were the go-to. So
Oh
that gives you an
yeah,
idea
oh
of
yeah.
the head start they had, and Luffy's going to fly past both of them.
That's crazy cool. But I mean, uh, it it kind of shows the difference between like a story that gets rebooted multiple times as time goes on versus a story that has one kind of clear linear arc throughout.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a continuous story
yeah,
with continuous growth, continuous plot. I have no interest. If I were to get back into comics, it would not be Batman or even more so Superman now, just from what I know of them and the way they've just perverted the characters because they've tried to keep the same story going for so long, it's not even
yeah,
interesting
yeah.
to me anymore.
I mean, there are some stories like when they have the, especially with Batman, when they really delve into the detective angle
Mhm.
for Batman. Those stories I really want to revisit because, uh, like that's the thing that I think is overlooked about that character so much is like Bruce is really really smart and
Right.
like they're like, oh, he beats up bad guys, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not the thing that's incredible about him. Like, yeah, he's rich, yeah, he could beat the crap out of people, yeah, he's well trained, dude is smart, focus, like
Yes.
he's got such a good brain.
And that's the fact what from what I've understood of where they've gone. The thing is you're right because Batman has a lot more avenues to explore,
Hmm.
where with Superman it seems like all they've done over the years is given him more and more powers to make him more and more OP.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
up
mean,
until they did the New 52 reboot, and that's a bit different.
right,
They scaled him back down a bit.
which they needed to do because it makes you an uninteresting character
Oh
at some
yeah, it
point.
really does. It makes you very bored. Like again, and if you guys don't know, he does more than just the gaming and the anime stuff. You've done ERB reactions, which I love watching those.
Oh,
Uh,
ERB is the best.
yeah, I love like if you want to see somebody who like really gets invested in anime, have like a strong opinion about something, you really need to see Curtis's reaction to Goku versus Superman for the epic rap battles of history. That moment where you were like,
Oh yeah,
"Did he say Krillin it? Like Krillin is an insult? Fuck you, Superman!" And I'm like, "Yes!" It
yeah.
was
That was
beautiful.
that was when he really crossed the line for
Oh
me.
yeah.
It's like you're gonna shit on Krillin. Here, I
How
got some
dare you?
kryptonite for to shove
How
up your
dare
ass.
you? Ah.
Yeah, I'll kryptonite my dick and we'll have a party. Yeah, it's good.
Uh,
Rax is only hearing half of this. He's like, what are we gonna do? He wants to know when Superman in the ERB disrespects Krillin.
Oh
That
yes.
scumbag.
Okay.
that's
Superman's
okay.
a dirtball.
That's
All right.
okay.
All right then.
That's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, Goku said it right the first time. How many times are they gonna rewrite your story?
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
Exactly.
and then I think his final line was just the clincher. There's only one way that this battle's gonna end. One more Superman who's never gonna walk again.
Yeah, that was one of the harsher lines in
Oh yeah.
ERB history right
Oh
there.
man. Uh, was it? What's the opposite of Christopher Walken? Christopher
Christopher
Reeves.
Reeves. Yep. Yep.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, it's probably better that Christopher Reeves had passed on before they came up with that
Oh
line
yeah,
because
man.
that one might have done him in.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely. Holy
yeah, that was
cow. That was crazy. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave it up to you to ask some questions. I am familiar with what Curtis does, but I wanted to get more people to check him out and check out his channel and see all the cool stuff that he does, and maybe consider becoming a patron. Dude, I'm a $5 patron because that's basically all I can afford at the moment. I'm a poor broke otaku, but
oh that's
for just for that, you can basically see all of his anime reactions completely uncut.
Well, that's what a while back I went to that model because I just thought it was more fair. Yeah, for
Oh
at the
yeah.
$5 level, you see absolutely everything.
Hmm.
You're not closed out from anything at that level.
Yoshimi, yeah. I'm aware. Goldberg is a giant anime nut.
Hmm.
He also plays Destiny, guys. If you don't know, he plays he is the hunter class in Destiny, which is a game I'm gonna be streaming on my channel in just a bit. I man, I live in I work from home, and I do like game streaming, and I do directing and recording, and I do voiceover work, I do writing, all sorts of other stuff. You've actually seen one of my things that I've written and put together. I Infinity's Light. That's my baby that we kind of sort of put together and everything. We're gonna
Right.
we're gonna be rewriting and everything, and it looks like next year is when we're gonna be putting everything out. Unless we hit a milestone, our next milestone. If we hit our next milestone before Log Horizon Abridged ends, then we will start working on and getting cast and everything for Infinity's Light immediately. But what's really been cool about that is a lot of people that we kind of work with and look up to, like we've had a couple of Team 4 Star people on, like Little Karibo and Kaiser Neko and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like
that's cool.
Kaiser voices our king in Log Horizon Abridged, and it's completely because of Team 4 Star that Log Horizon Abridged even ended up the way that it did. We still don't understand that episode 1 managed to get over 1 million views. Like, that blows our mind. But
That's awesome.
they did a contest, an abridging contest called Tiba a couple of years back, almost 4 years now. And Log Horizon Abridged was one of the ones that was the one that we submitted. And even though we didn't place in their top 30, we ended up winning the kind of the audience choice, and another Curtis, Takahata 101, Curtis Arnott,
Hmm.
we
Yep.
were his judge's pick. And so we ended up winning what was called the Fuck the Judges Award. And we got a trophy, which was the best fucking thing ever, because
That's cool.
it's just a basic trophy case with a golden dildo on it, and then a plaque that says
Nice.
"Fuck the Judges." So we went to Anime Week in Atlanta a couple of years back, like 2 years ago. I went there with the dick bubble wrapped, so you couldn't really see the dick. It's our quote unquote censor bar, and I went up to their booth, and I was like, "Can y'all sign this?" And they just went nuts. It was so funny. I was like, yeah, everybody at the studio here, we just want to say thank you for the shiny golden chair. Like, it fits so well. So, but yeah, that was our Tiba entry, and here we are. Almost, we're in working on the finishing touches of episode 9. Like, holy crap, 9 episodes we've gone, and we've got 2 other series that we're doing simultaneously. Like, we've managed to grow so much because of this little just competition that they put together to try and spark more creative people in the abridging community and let people know more abridgers are out there. And it
That's
was kind of a
cool.
really, really cool thing that they did. And
Yeah,
we've even got
absolutely.
to work with them and direct them and have them on, and it's been like kind of nothing short of amazing to us, because it's people that really are at the top echelon of just creativity. And the other thing was, when I talked about Infinity's Light to Scott the last time, because Team 4 Star is moving towards more original content. Oh, really?
Mm.
Oh, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Rick. Oh, wow. Slime One has 219,000 views right now. That's crazy. Uh,
Wow.
I haven't kept up with that. Slime One is the other one that, like, I'm in control of. Like, I'm the writer and director for that. Log Horizon, I'm the writer and the assistant director for that series, and I voice a character called Menu. Um, but
Cool.
now Curtis hasn't seen that time I got reincarnated as a slime yet, but I know he will
No.
like it. I do know that it is one that is in your mention. Like that's one that's been brought to your attention. I
Yep, on a number of occasions. Yep.
yeah, it's definitely got its nice pervy elements, and it's got a lot of big titty girls in there. So, it's one for the record books.
That's a quality jumping off point. Absolutely.
And its second season actually comes out this October. But
Oh, that's cool.
I am more interested because right now, guys, if you don't know some of the stuff that he's reacting to right now, you are currently watching Trigun, One Piece,
Yep.
and Bleach,
Yep.
and you just got to the major kicking off point for the first huge arc in Bleach, like the first major arc. So you're gonna be in this arc for a while. I don't want to say anything more about it, but it's a good arc, and there's gonna be some
Oh, yeah.
really interesting developments that come from it. And
This
it's my favorite arc in Bleach. So
and the cool thing is too, I'm really looking forward to talk about things that people talk about. When we finish Trigun, I'm going to go to Code Geass.
oh
And
yeah.
I've had so many people for so
No,
many years
I know
telling
that
me that's what I need to do.
it's a good one. Fire Force is also good. Yeah, Fire Force is kind of awesome for a big beat 'em up. One other that I saw got recommended to you on the live show on a live show recently. Somebody said Fruits Basket. Now that's not shonen, that's shojo, which is
Right.
essentially girl manga. But
Right.
what's really interesting about it is that freaking Fruits Basket is one of those ones that it just, oh my god, I can't say enough about it. The author, she in the sidebar, she talks about like video games and stuff, like she feels bad because she had to sacrifice Aerith in Final Fantasy VII, and she was like, but please leave me all your items, and then she felt guilty about it, and she'll talk about like this really adorable kind of nerdy gaming stuff, and then she writes this very character driven kind of like really getting you in the feels, very emotional kind of story, and you're like, holy crap, this is such a I love those that are really character driven.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the basic premise for Fruits Basket, and this was just in the trailer, it's nothing spoilery. There's basically this family that the main character encounters, that they are cursed by the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac plus the cat. And when they come under an extreme amount of stress or they're hugged by a member of the opposite sex, they transform into one of the animals plus the cat. So it's really funny, and it's kind of like the story of her living with this group of people who have like this kind of curse, and the shenanigans that they kind of all get up into. And then it does, I mean, it definitely has its really funny moments. It's probably my favorite thing just to see Shigure. Like, I'm Yura the dog, so I definitely relate to Shigure. And at one point, he's like, you know, he sounds like he's being very kind and generous to Toru. He's like, oh no, if you need to stay here and take care of this person, I'll go to the high school and pick up your things. And she's like, he's so thoughtful, he's so nice. And then it cuts immediately to Shigure just dancing forward. High school girls, high school girls. And it's, yeah, that's the level of silly that you can expect from that show. But I will say this, the original anime, when it came out, covered 6 volumes of the manga. There were 23 volumes, and it gets crazier. Like, it's an emotional roller coaster. So, yeah, I would definitely say that if it comes up on your radar again and more people ask for it, Fruits Basket's one of those ones that's definitely worth a watch. It is
Cool.
It is a feels trip. You will get tugged on the heartstrings, but it is pretty spectacular. And it's one of those anime that you can actually sit down and watch with the others. It's not perverted though. Like, there's not a lot of pervy stuff going on in it. But it's one of those ones that you could definitely show to your wife and she'd be like, "Oh my god," and tearing up and stuff. Like, it's got kind of those Disney tones to it. Like,
Right.
as far
Right.
as like
The Disney
how,
overtone. Yeah.
yeah, the Disney overtones to it and stuff like that. I would say anything Studio Ghibli is like that too. But then again, everything that Ghibli puts out is put out like when it comes over here, Disney's the one that puts it out. So like
Right.
Kiki's
Right. They are
Delivery
like
Service, Princess Mononoke, stuff like that. Howl's
Yep.
Moving Castle, all the Studio
Disney
Ghibli
Japan.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
Disney Japan basically. You're the Rabbit is just weird for you. Oh, Watch it. Yes, Rick is like, yes, watch it. So as soon as I said Fruits Basket, you get a bunch of people like, yes. And what's really cool is like the first time I really caught Laura Bailey. You've heard Laura Bailey. Here's another one, throwing it out there. You've watched all of Yu Yu Hakusho,
Yep.
and Keiko, Yusuke's girlfriend in that one, voiced by Laura Bailey. Well, she plays
Oh,
the
okay.
main character in Fruits Basket. And if nobody's told you about this, one of the cool things right now is that she and a bunch of other nerdy ass voice actors actually play D&D on Thursdays live on Twitch.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And it's crazy funny because I did not realize how much of a pervert she is, and she's like a 12-year-old a lot of the time. So basically she can turn anything into sexual innuendo and make and laugh about it.
My
And
kind of girl.
yeah, exactly. So or to put it in another way, all right, so going with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, here's how funny this is. Laura Bailey played Lust.
Oh, okay.
She married Travis Willingham, who played Mustang. So
Mustang.
Lust and
I knew
Mustang
they
are
were married.
Yeah, and they just had they have a almost 2-year-old now, and
Oh, cool.
they named him Ronan, which I think is awesome. But yeah, they do a lot of video game and anime voiceover. I know you played a bit of The Last of Us.
Yep.
Laura's going to be in the sequel, and the Ashley, who plays the little girl Ellie in
Yeah.
The Last of Us, she's also one of the voice actors that plays D&D with them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
That's something
it's
different.
a bunch of nerdy ass voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons, and you know it's a live Twitch stream, so they curse and say fuck and all sorts of other stuff, and it's beautiful. And they're a bunch of idiots, and because they're voice actors and they're professional voice actors, like they get into character and they do, you know, they get full on into these voices when they're playing these characters, and it's just a lot of fun. So, Critical Role, 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 I think.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. You can just do a quick Twitter search or just a general Google search for them, and you'll see some really cool stuff. Their community is pretty awesome too. So,
Yeah,
so it's just like DNPD. In a way, Jack, it's kind of like DNPD. Oh, in sad coronavirus news, not just for you, but for others in the anime community, it was confirmed that the Infinite Train movie arc for Demon Slayer, because I know you just recently got done with Demon Slayer, has
Right.
been pushed back due to the coronavirus.
It's going to
so-
be more and more of that, unfortunately, I'm afraid.
Unfortunately, yeah. And I guess since I'm plugging Critical Role, I might as well plug the other thing. DV, I walked into Richie explaining Critical Role. I love my life. We have a thing called Dungeons and Demon Slayers that we do every other Monday. So next Monday we'll be doing it, and it's basically an alternate universe version of Demon Slayer, and a bunch of us sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons as Demon Slayers in Japan, basically in the same timeline and everything, but you know, an alternate universe where the Muzan actually got killed, and so there's another demon that took his place, blah blah blah. Richie, why isn't Fu here? I don't know. Why isn't Fu here? Yeah, I play a Goliath barbarian named Futen Yordik, which is basically a funny little story. He saved a barmaiden from some drunk asshole, and then he stomped the shit out of this dude's genitals, and so they dubbed his name Foot in Your Dick, or Futen Yordik. So that was his name, and he's like, I gave him the religion of Lord Broseph. He must drink Natty Light, and he reads from the Swoley Bible. Just stupid stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make him such a total dude, bro. Why not?
That's pretty cool.
He's doing push-ups. He's always jacked. Guys, if you have any questions for Curtis, feel free to ask them real quick. We only have
Unfortunately,
little bit
I'm
amount of time,
Probably
yeah.
I'm gonna have to peel out of here. I got it's time for my daughter to get put down for bed, and I need
Okay,
to lift
yeah,
her
yeah.
for my wife. So
Yeah, I got you, man. I-
unfortunately, that's all I had was an hour this evening.
That's more than enough. Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Oh,
If you
no
want to check
problem.
out,
Thanks for having me.
as you can clearly see on the screen, I've just got a screenshot that I print screenshot of the YouTube channel, but I also need to make sure and go ahead and put up the goose so that they can see. This is the goose. As you can see, there's boobies galore. You should go check it out, though. He's got
Always
a
boobies.
lot of different reactions. Yes, Overlord, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Avatar.
Overlord.
Wait, now I know you finished Avatar: The Last Airbender. How many people have been yelling at you to check out Korra?
When we were first finishing it, there were a lot of people talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't gotten a lot of pop since. It's just because there's so many other things people want to see. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that's also true. But yeah, I think you're really gonna enjoy Korra too. Like,
I think I would. Yeah. Yeah.
alrighty, guys, I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer just to kind of plug Curtis, but he has to step away and go take care of things with his family, and we absolutely understand. Curtis, thank you so much for being here and
No problem.
hanging
Thanks
out
for
with
having
us.
me.
Yeah,
This was fun.
this was fun. Maybe we can do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank
You guys have a good night.
All right, you take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. So guys, if you have not checked out Spaz Boys comedy, please make sure and go do that. If you came here at the tail end of this interview, I'm sorry you missed some really good content. I'm sorry you missed out on it. We will try to do this again, but you can go back and rewatch everything and enjoy it that way. I think it'll work just fine. Now, I'm showing the goosh because I've been showing the YouTube channel the entire time. But I'm sorry. I will do a quick recap of what is going on with all of that. Guys, Curtis is the old man that you see on the screen right here. He has a reaction and gaming channel that he does a lot of stuff. Now, he is in his 60s, which I think is the really cool selling point. And he just recently got into anime about 5 years ago, somewhere around 5 years ago. And he's currently watching One Piece. He is almost at the end of the Thriller Bark arc. So he just got to Nightmare Luffy. Yeah, he got to Purple Hulk Luffy. So yeah, there's some really cool, serious stuff coming up. He's got so much stuff that he's reacted to anime-wise. He has seen all of Yu Yu Hakusho, all of Naruto, all of Cowboy Bebop, High School DxD. He's caught up to everything but season 4 of My Hero Academia. He is going to be watching season 4 soon. Let's see. Jesus Christ. So much stuff, dude. Of course, there's JoJo. He's caught up with JoJo. So for all of you JoJo stands out there, you might want to go check that out. There's a whole mess of stuff, dude. It would take me a while just to go onto my Patreon, but screw it. Let me see if I can. What series has he watched? All right. Let's take a look. All of the different things, man. Community. Yep. RSVP now. Okay, cool. Okay, so Dragon Ball Super, Naruto, My Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Food Wars, Attack on Titan, Assassination Classroom, High School DxD, Death Note, Gurren Lagann, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Kill la Kill, Mob Psycho, 1 and 2, by the way, Berserk, Demon Slayer, Konosuba, Nichijou, Testament of New Sister, Hellsing Ultimate, Bleach. He's 15 episodes into Bleach. Prison School, Monster Musume, High School of the Dead, Keijo, Sekirei, No Game No Life, Demon Lord, Kids on the Slope, Promised Neverland, School Live, Castlevania, Usagi Drop. Oh, that's right. He watched the Usagi Drop series. Oh my god, that was so good. He's 9 episodes into Trigun, Genlock, Penny and Stocking. He's seen 8 of those. Outlaw Star, Epic Rap Battles of History, Trinity 7. No, let's see what else. A lot of this is ReZero, Princess Mononoke. He's done a lot of reactions to other stuff like Mother's Basement, DBZ abridged. Like, he's watched all of Dragon Ball Z, dude. I mean, it's just, there's stuff all over here, and it's just crazy. It would take me forever to go through all of that stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of really cool things that he watches and reacts to. And again, he's also doing, has he seen No Game No Life? Yes, he has. What did I fall into? So that is Curtis, the Spaz gamer and the Spaz guy. That was our interview with him. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You should definitely check out some of the silliness over on his channel. Become a patron from the Goosh, which is on the screen right now, or you can go check out his YouTube channel. He still does Dragon Ball Super clip reactions, like he does reactions to the clips on the channel, so you may get to go ahead and check that out. But yeah, there's some really cool stuff. I would definitely suggest the ERB stuff. Like, it's super funny and it's a good time. He's perverted as hell, and that's what makes it funny and adorable. And you guys are kind of pervs too, let's be honest. But yeah, I hope you like that. Let us know if there are any other people you'd like us to actually sit down and chat with. If you have recommendations for people that we can interview, try not to aim too high just yet, because we don't have that kind of credibility, but we're more than happy to interview some people. And it's okay if we don't know who they are and what they do. That's half of the interview process, is us getting to know them. I just wanted to start off with somebody that I do know. But if there is somebody that you'd like, hey, make sure to not only contact us, but contact them and let them know that, hey, really be interested in doing this live streaming kind of 1 hour interview thing. It'd be awesome. All right. So, stay frosty out there. For those of you that want to check out my gaming content, I am Like Zoinks Gaming here on YouTube. I just finished doing Ori and the Blind Forest. Or, I'm sorry, not Blind Forest. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Ori 2. Holy shit. I just finished that up. I'm going to be editing the last bit of that before I post the final one publicly. But as soon as I get done with that, guys, I will move over to putting all of them on the editing block, and from there we will move to on to whatever the next game is that I will be streaming. I mean, I'm gonna do Destiny stuff tonight. Also, make sure to come by tomorrow for What the Fell. We are going to be playing more GTFO, and I think Calmeji may be joining us. Who knows? All right, so that having been said, I will see you guys on the next one, or if you're coming over to my channel, you can see me playing some video games of a bit of Destiny, because I've got some more shit to do on Destiny 2. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody!